Jane, put away your pregnancy test.
I wanted to make a reference, but I knew it wouldn't work well, and no one will probably get it, and that's always sad. That's always sad. You're like, oh, that's a good reference to like
That is
one
sad.
person who's never gonna get it.
True.
Oh well.
Feel sad, man.
Neil, Vale, you're having a lovely time. It is cold outside with the snow blowing, but warm inside in a nice, bustling tavern. The tavern is actually quite tight, but you and your friends have got a nice little table, so you'll all be able to sit together. Gilwyn's there too. Amelia is there with a bottle of wine, and she's kind of looking at the bottle on the ingredients and the text on it. And Sid's actually there as well, tinkering away on something. And Melody's there, kind of not really doing all that much, really. But the two of you are there, Gilwyn and Vale, just enjoying good drink, good food. The other folk in this tavern are tiefling scholars of Bastilian. There's fish bones mounted on the walls, and it's snowing a blizzard outside, and it's just nice. Can you give me a perception check, Vale and Gilwyn?
Oh my god, are we having a shared dream? We're so in sync.
Oh, penises. I'm looking at
Penises. You do actually become aware it's a dream, both of you, because the bottle that Amelia's reading, every time you look at it, the letters change. The menu written in slate behind the bar, the words shift and move. The people through the tavern are nearly faceless. When you look at them, you can see their facial features, but they're kind of different when you look away, and the conversations they're having, it's just meaningless background noise. They're not all people with a story. Both of you realize that you're in a dream. But it's a lovely one. It's nice and warm, good food. There's no music playing or anything like that, but the muffled conversations and the crackling of the fire is, just pleasant.
Vale?
Are we Did you sniff some more of that metal? Are we having a shared hallucination?
Even if I did, why would you be in it?
I don't know. We got our souls sort of like hands-eat together.
Mm-hmm. This is weird.
Yeah. Wow. This is really weird. Do you think we're supposed to do something? Do you think this is prophetic?
Amelia?
Right, and it's snowy outside, like Bastilian.
You sort of ask to Amelia, and it's like, can you believe that they're charging us 2 gold for this? This is a 1 gold bottle of wine at best.
Right, yeah. That reminds me of that time she wanted to charge people for like little locks to save their lives. When we first met her. So, should we open the door?
Yes. Wait. Okay. Something strange is going on, evidently. We kind of have to figure out, at least in my opinion, whose memory this is leeching off of.
Right, yeah. Does Gil have that cut on his arm?
No.
Okay. So these are clearly projections of ourselves. And what armor are we wearing? Is it a current armor? Or is it?
It would be the Yeti fur, and
So I'd be wearing the
you're
Yeti
in the
fur.
Yeti fur, and
Yeah.
Gilwin's just in his clothes. Winter cloak.
Well, this must be Bastilian. What's his face? No, he wasn't here, was he? The tiefling guy I didn't like. He was in Lichvale. Who was here? Who? Bale's gonna look around for the moon elf lady he danced with.
Can you give me an insight check, I suppose? Wisdom check. Go straight core wisdom. The faces of the people, like they in the crowd, they look familiar, but not placeable. You know, you must have seen so many people on the streets of Bastilian, and yeah, they're all tieflings, but you don't remember any of them.
I would have thought if it was a memory of mine from Bastilian, I would see her there. She left quite an impact.
Gilwin, can you give me a wisdom check?
Yeah.
Okay.
Amelia?
Can you believe they're charging us 2 gold for this? I mean, this is clearly a 1 gold glass, a bottle of wine.
Sid?
Oh boy, you really want to hear my voice?
Sid doesn't seem to notice you talking to him. He's just sort of tinkering away at things.
So perfectly in character then.
Melody?
Melody? Kind of looks to Gilwin and smiles.
That makes me quite sad, actually. Come, we should open the door.
All right.
Bear would stand up and he put a hand on Amelia's shoulder and then take it off, which she didn't like that.
But noticeably, she doesn't really flinch or react negatively, as she definitely would have in life.
We'll come get you soon. Have we got like our weapons on us?
Your
Bale's
bags
gonna
are there.
draw the comet blade,
Yeah,
and he
you
like
don't...
looks at it like.
It's one of those things you didn't notice that you did, because often you don't even notice the weight of the bags that you're carrying.
Until you thought of it.
You draw it, and yeah, comet blade shining as ever. Perhaps more shining than ever before.
Do I have the scroll in my scroll case? Because at
Yes.
this time... Okay. Vale did not know I had it. at that time.
Ah, well, you have the scroll case. The scroll case doesn't open in any way. And you clearly don't have a soul mender.
Okay. All right.
Vel like flourishes the comet blade and a good dream, I think.
Yeah. I'm like looking at Amelia and Melody as I say that.
No Haven though. That's funny. Sort of. All these people are alive, but Haven might not be.
Why do you... What makes you think that?
Could he swim?
What makes you think these are alive, though? Just because of the presence?
Yes. Amelia wouldn't die. She was clever. And Melody is resourceful. She lived her life all on her own for all those years. And Sid, I mean, he might be on his last legs from age, but annoyingly the little bastard hung on.
You kind of see Sid like perk up and look around and then kind of put his head back down into his work.
So...
Val's gonna grab hold of the door handle.
You walk towards the door. The steps are actually difficult the closer you get. And the window that looks outside, you can kind of see that there's a blizzard outside, but not any details of the street. As you go to the handle, the door opens into you, and the cloaked woman basically walks into you, making you sort of instinctively step back. The only real thing noticeable about her is a braid of snow-white hair that kind of trails down from the hood. And she walks to the table you were at, which doesn't have anyone at it anymore.
Do you recognize this woman?
You two can give me wisdom rolls. Yeah, Gilwyn. As she pulls down the hood, revealing a sharp-faced, dark elf with eyes that kind of fade into
A single white braid.
A single white braid. You realize that this resembles the sketch in Jai-Ying's notebook of Lathura Dawnebb, the daimao and leader of the Drow. And she looks to you with a clarity in those eyes that no one else in this place has. And both of the chairs... one chair opposite her pushes out. She looks to Vale with this clarity.
Vale would... He's still sword drawn. Go and sit.
I thought it was about time we had a talk, you and I. Because I thought you would be nothing but a nuisance. A thorn in the side. But what a thorn you are.
I have been a nuisance all my life. I've got very good at it.
I've heard of that. I've heard of a golden-skinned pirate wanted for quite a lot of money in some places, yes? You must do some very bad things to get bounties that large on your head.
I'm sure you can imagine.
I've never been in trouble in my life.
Difficult when one makes the rules.
I did not always make the rules. I was not born into power. But that doesn't matter when you have the power. Tell me, Eravale, your god of the sun, does he speak to you? When you pray to him, does he answer into your ears messages meant only for you?
Yes, he does. Maybe not quite directly, but he speaks to me.
That is interesting. I asked a question of you. It is only fair that you may ask a question of me.
You say that's interesting. Why do you care about my god or think that is interesting? Of course he would talk to me. I'm a sun elf.
True. In theory, it makes absolute sense. But all we know down here is that your people worship the sun. I never thought that you would hear their voice in your head. I thought that your people had no literal power. Because the usurper queen, she talks to me directly. Grants me insight. Grants me great purpose. Me. And I know I'm not the only one, and I'm sure you are not the only sun elf to hear the words of your god. I just wanted to know if you heard them.
I have not heard Ormlet or Lathander directly, but that is not
See, I'm
needed.
not talking about seeing faces in splashes of blood or bones rolling to give the correct answer. I'm talking about a real conversation, as real as we're having right now.
I have with Berenthor. He has stood before me and we have spoken. And he has lent me power. Power enough to defeat your servants. Power enough to defeat you, I think.
Power can come from an unreal place.
Then what you are saying is you fear not my god, but my faith.
I fear neither. I don't fear you, Erevael Valinor. Right now, I am curious of you. We will see if that elevates to alarm, perhaps trepidation, but I will never fear you.
Oh, really? That's cool. Any reason you've invaded my dreams? Then you just wanted to have a chat. Just curious. You're like a cat toying with a mouse, perhaps. Spider with a fly in its web.
That would suggest that you are far inferior to me, and I do not believe that to be entirely the case, which is why I wanted this conversation. And I wanted to see... And then she stands up.
Belle tries to run her through with the comet blade when she stands.
You wake up. Both of you.
He like sits up. That was dreaming. Wow. That's crazy. You do that every night?
Not quite that vivid.
Oh.
Not quite that vivid. What the... Why was I there?
You're my friend. I'm not as dangerous on my own as I am with you.
That doesn't make any sense. She wanted to talk to you.
We've traveled together for a fair while. We conducted that ritual together. I feel we are linked, perhaps in more than just an emotional way now.
You might be right. She said she doesn't fear you.
Good. Let her underestimate us.
It takes someone of... Well, I don't need to tell you this. It takes someone of great intelligence to do something like that, Bill.
She said her god speaks to her directly. That's power granted to her by her god, not her own.
Yeah, perhaps. Either way, if she doesn't fear you and fear us, then she's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, probably. Do you think we can kill someone like that?
Yeah. All of us.
Yeah. Yeah, together. What if my god doesn't speak to me like the way her god speaks to her because he's dead? What if he's not there? What if it's just Berenthor, the last dying breath of a god-given form? He's been around for a long time. What if I'm doing all of this and it's futile? He's gone. They've already won. He didn't intervene. He's not spoken to me directly. Maybe he is a greater deity than this Spider Queen. Maybe he has more areas to purvey. Maybe he's busy.
Maybe he has as much faith in you as you should have in him.
It's just we've only been scraping through these fights, just barely.
Mm-hmm.
Just barely. A little help from... I don't know what I want.
Earlier today, when you rather cruelly allowed that guard to fall to his death, remind me how we didn't suffer the same fate. You sprouted golden wings from your fucking spine.
They were Berenthal's wings.
So? Does it really matter?
No, I suppose not. You can make a weak vessel strong, I suppose, but if you're already working with a strong vessel, give it some wings and it will run any spider through, right?
We're gonna do this. I said that at the start. I'm saying that now.
I've not seen the sun in a long time, and I didn't realize how much that affects me.
Yeah, I guess
I
so.
feel drained down here in this dark abyss. It is not pleasant, but I will be fine. It's just sometimes in these dark moments, I have a lot of time to think, you see. Not thinking, not sleeping, lying there awake is not good for one's, well, you know.
Yeah. Huh. I never thought about that.
Usually it's great. I practice in my mind, you know. I think, what would I do faced with this sort of opponent? Usually I win, like every time.
That makes sense.
But sometimes my mind wanders, and I think of things like that, like you or Indira or even Serena dying. It's and me living. And then I think even if we live through this, Gil, you'll die before me, and actually that's I don't. We should get some sleep, I think, before the others wake up.
None of us are gonna die.
I mean, you nearly killed Serena.
Yeah.
It's got a bit close. A fair few times.
You know what it's like when you don't think you can do something. You just have to, I don't know, sometimes lie to yourself until you start to believe it. We have to believe in ourselves down here, to be honest.
Yeah.
You've been given the gift of golden wings, but the rest is up to us.
Yeah. I never needed help from anyone before. And now I have a whole load of help. I'm so silly sometimes. If you do die, I'm cutting off your nipples and putting them in the jar.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
I am sorry. I've been so weak recently when we've had these discussions. It's not like me.
Weak.
I feel like usually I am the one who looks after everyone else. Not in like necessarily the conventional sense. Sometimes in like literally that if someone threatens you, I'll murder them with a knife, sort of thing. Other times, like, you know, I talk you out of a bit of a funk. But recently, I feel like I have been leaning on everyone else.
So sometimes the strong tire. That's weird, that isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose it's just being silly, I think.
It's not silly. It's really not silly.
Listen, when we get back to the surface, do you think we could do one thing before we save Amelia?
Sure.
Do you think you could go punch my dad? And I'll punch yours.
You want me to punch a sun elf in the face?
Oh yeah, like break his nose.
Have you seen my fist's forearm and also rest of arm?
Yeah, but what if I distract him?
Can't you just hit him?
It doesn't seem right to hit my dad.
I'd hit mine.
Really?
Yeah?
Why haven't you? He's a cock.
I've thought about it.
I mean, like, I met him for like a couple of days and I wanted to run him through.
Well, you're kind of a homicidal crazy man.
Wow.
Sorry, crazy elf.
I'm homicidal.
Divine elf now.
Not sure quite.
Yeah,
I'm,
we'll do whatever you want. We'll do whatever you want.
Well, you know, it was just a thought. It might be good. You know, like you could like show him some funky drow moves you learned. Time your punch.
I'm gonna go back to sleep.
Oh yeah, you need that.
Yeah. Have one of
He just
those.
like watches you like lie down and close your eyes, and if you like open your eyes, like a couple minutes later, he's still just staring at you.
This has definitely
Then
happened
eventually-
before.
Then eventually you hear him like lie onto his back again.
That's not weird at all. Eventually, around 4 hours later, y'all are rested. You know, down here you don't really wake up to the sound of the birds or the sun creeping in through the window. You just wake up and your body wakes up, or when someone in your party wakes you up. You know? One or the other. Gilwin looks like he hasn't slept very well. He got the bad eyes.
Me and Gilwin had a shared dream last night.
Oh.
Yeah, it was great.
No, it wasn't.
No?
No.
It was cool. Like, I'd never dreamed before.
Yeah, I guess the novelty of it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to tell us what happened, or?
Oh, well, Gilwin needed to change his sheets afterwards. No, I kid.
This is false information.
We met the leader of the drow. She sort of
Okay,
had
so
tried-
she came to you in a dream.
tried to have a pleasant conversation with us, I guess.
No. Indira, she didn't come to him in a dream. Like she like came to him to actually like genuinely talk to him. It wasn't a vision.
Right. And you both know that you shared this dream because you talked about the dream afterwards and compared.
Oh no, we talked in the dream.
We both have the exact same memory of it.
Are you sure about that if you haven't talked about it?
But like, I mean, I went to open the door and she walked in, and
Yep.
so the breeze threw me, and then I sat down, and at the end I stabbed her, right? But she disappeared.
Yeah, and Amelia was complaining about the bottle being 2 gold instead of 1.
Yes, the wine. Twice, in fact.
Twice.
Not seem beyond the realm of powerful magics. It is not something I have ever taken an interest in, but I believe I heard a scholar or two in some of the when they came down to the lower pubs in Tran. Probably magic of the Daimao of some description.
I've certainly never heard of such a thing. I mean, this was very real.
Yeah, I had my old sword. It felt really real.
And what did she have to say?
She didn't fear me, asked whether my god spoke to me, said her god spoke to her. Then I stabbed her.
This is good, Vale. We want her cocky. We don't want her scared of us. We want her to underestimate us. We want her to underestimate you.
She said she might feel some trepidation.
She has certainly taken notice of us. That is the minimum we can take from this.
Yeah, it's a little creepy that she was just able to do that, though.
Yeah, what if this means that she can spy on your thoughts?
I doubt it. I
We
mean,
don't
like,
have to worry about you dreaming at night, but she can get in your brain.
right? Yeah, but
If
like,
this is what happened.
I mean, wow,
Have
you're doubting us?
Have we not been worried about our thoughts being read the entire time? There are Illithid in this city, after all.
Yeah, but
Not,
like,
I doubt you, Vale. It's that I wasn't there. I don't know what to make of this.
yeah, but we told you what happened. It did happen. I don't dream otherwise, unless apparently extremely evil, powerful drow pull me into a dream.
I wonder if that stab did anything to her.
She kind of discorporated around the sword, so I think probably not.
Well, I hope it hurt.
Probably didn't, but I hope so too. Interesting that the area we were in Bastilian, I felt. It was a long time ago, long before I met Berenthor. Perhaps it was a memory from this time because she cannot access my more recent ones.
Maybe she just wanted to catch you off guard and put you somewhere pleasant.
It was pleasant,
Come in
actually.
and ruin it.
It was nice. She was kind of pretty, actually, in that setting. Like, she had a nice braid, like beautiful white hair, you know?
Given
Like-
what we know of drow culture, that does not surprise me. I would
Wait.
be more surprised if the leader of the drow was a hideous old hag, to be quite frank.
Vale. Get out the drawing of her.
Oh, right. He'd flick through the journal and pull it out.
In the meantime, Indira's like studying Gil's face and kind of playing with her own hair.
Braiding
Did
it.
she,
Not really, but like playing with it.
did she look exactly the same as this, Ollie?
I mean, this is a wood carving print. But
Like
yeah.
same hair.
Not same clothing. but the same hair, same. There's no detail to the eyes. Her eyes were, and you've encountered this especially among like tieflings and things. There's just kind of, but you can kind of still tell where they're looking. There's almost like it grew more white in the center of the eye, right? But it's kind of like a silvery eyes, and the hair was the same. Clothes were just cloaks. You didn't really see into it.
Vale, or
Yeah.
Serena, or anybody who wants to chime in, has anyone ever heard of actual, encounters with this person? Like tangible, real?
Something I could find out at the bar tonight. Or try to.
What I'm asking is, this
No, she's real. She not simply a dream thing. No. It's not. The drow wouldn't follow. No. Probably.
has anyone ever actually seen her? Did
I'm-
this person see her? Why would a low-ranking drow assassin ever meet her?
Public
Presumably-
executions, ceremonies.
You can imagine for her to maintain her power and stature that her image would be circulated. Do not find it unrealistic, but I mean, they do. Ollie, remind me if this is something our party has heard, that the Daimau's district is like basically separate from everywhere else.
You
Did that
haven't
come from
heard
this
anything
stream?
about that in this game. No.
Yeah, that was the Sunday stream. Sorry,
The
I'm getting my
Sunday
streams
game
crossed.
had this come up, but not this one.
Yeah. Okay.
You have not seen, or yeah, you've not even seen imagery of the Daimao that you would recognize. Because to be fair, her facial features are fairly nondescript. She's young. She's noticeably not Vale young, but maybe 200, which is kind of young for someone in leadership, because that is when an elf is considered truly adult, really. That is really the most noticeable thing. You might have seen her face in some artwork or something, but not really even have noticed because you aren't drow who recognize this as your leader,
Although now that I think about it, I have not seen much imagery around the city, and it is certain. And I feel like what stories we have heard of her seem to imply a degree of strangeness. I think it's unlikely, but there might be something unusual about her, that is for certain.
Like, I don't mean to imply that she's 100% fictitious and she doesn't actually exist in some bodily form, but what if she's projecting this young, powerful image? What if she's not what she's projecting?
Yeah. You're suggesting that she's some old, crone, shriveled, hidden. I think that is unlikely. Drow age with madness. She seemed quite sane to me.
Yeah, it sounds crazy, but
elves fade with a few hundred years, do they not? And some of the sun elves are much older, from what you have said, Vale. It is not impossible that a drow could hold off the madness in the same way.
Yes, some sun elves. The Grand Master is known. The High Lord is known to be perhaps 1,000 years or more. But I understood drow were not gifted with the same long lives that we were.
We know very little about the drow, full stop, to be fair. And we know even less about this Daimao, who, by all appearances, seems to be surprisingly young. And there is certainly something. I feel like there is something strange in what we have heard of her, but I could not put my finger on it. Perhaps this is all wild speculation and that she is indeed just a powerful but young woman who was blessed by her goddess and thus gained power young, but
Indeed. Perhaps we should shelf this for closer to the time when we would face her.
she is not our current target indeed. It is something to brood on and keep our ears open for while gathering other whispers.
Also, is it really of importance?
It's worth discussing, isn't it?
You can't really kill a dream person.
Knowledge of what she is, what she is capable of, would be vital in taking her down.
As much as this is all speculation, it's at least making us think. It's better than just assuming one thing to be true.
Agreed.
The ground,
We-
then.
So, should we go speak to this smith?
Aye.
Yeah.
Swoosh! Don't try to swoosh when you're muted, kids. You walk, 100 feet over there to where the smith is. She kind of acknowledges your presence. The ore that you gave her is neatly stored now on some racks and in boxes, each one carefully noted in undercommon symbols. Again, she kind of acknowledges your presence but doesn't really start talking to you, as often happens.
Ahem.
What do you need?
A bar.
There are many bars in this
A
world.
specific bar.
Wow, you're being really vague, Indira.
I'm sorry, I don't really know what to ask for.
Are you shy?
No, I just...
We want
Many
to...
people are find their silver tongues turn to lead when they are in the presence of such a beautiful woman. The old woman says. With a smile.
Indira will absolutely do a really graceful and respectful curtsy at her with a kind of playful smile, though.
I believe that what we seek is a bar frequented by those who would work in the factories, smiths, I suppose, or maybe no, those
In
two
the
things.
factories.
We wish to know where we might find someone with knowledge about the Warstrider. We suspect that her work is admired by many a smith, you included, begrudgingly or not.
Her work is that of murder and execution. She is not a smith, but she controls those who would be smiths. What the factories do is a clumsy rendition of what we could do, although I admit that no one smith could harness and create Virustal. If you're looking to talk to people in the factories who might know her, that won't be the easiest thing without being one of them. Those places are inside the district's walls. If you were looking to find a place that the smiths who are gilded in this city travel to, it is called the Shining Blade. And it is a very respectful establishment, and you will treat it with such, where secrets of our craft are transferred and deals are made. If you are looking for someone who knows of the Warstrider, then you are looking to the highest echelon of the Daimau's twisted friends and comrades, most of which you've already started to kill. Friends do not exist in the city of Narashiro. A friend is an enemy who has not taken their strike yet.
Okay, then we'd like to find some enemies. that we could maybe loosen lips of.
Maybe there would be someone who dislikes her work as much as you in the Shining Blade, yet with more information than you.
That is true. The woman who runs the Shining Blade once ran quite a large portion of the manufactory district. I'm sure she would have a grudge that a daimyo placed the Warstrider in her place. As an ascended individual, her placement could be uncontested, but that does not allow. That does not count emotions. The tavern keeper stepped down and retired to run the Shining Blade.
It seems like a good start as any.
I don't know much else about her, but I've heard those rumors.
This might seem unrelated, but does this tavern keeper like men or women or both?
I have never really interacted with them. They are not the sort who walks the drinking halls and bathing chambers. They are the kind who oversees reports and counts coin. I'm sure if you were very important, you might be able to find their ear. But retirement is only one step away from fading, so I imagine there's not many marbles left in their head.
Okay, cool. What do you guys think?
It's not much. But we got to do something.
I
Yeah.
fear my talents are going to be useless here. Unless you want me to be...
We have time.
We do have time.
Perhaps, Serena, your talents could be useful. But with your...
Huh?
Mind worms?
Yeah, something
You
like
ha-
that.
You have mind worms?
I believe she was referring to the singing more, but
Oh, right.
the problem is that that she is unlikely to speak common. Although my song can work on her, it would be for a very short time, and I would not be able to ask her questions myself.
Also, your disguise is pretty shit.
I mean, I have no real disguise. I am only myself.
Don't you have a
Is-
mask?
Well, yes, but that is not going to fool someone who is upper echelons, I suspect. We have seen Lamia now. We know that those who mistake me for one are quite frankly foolish.
Yeah, but I mean, would anyone in the upper echelon really know who you are?
Debatable.
He grins. He's clearly teasing you about this one.
Debatable, Vale. My name might not be known, but there might well be rumors of a dark-skinned, tailed woman. It's difficult to say. Besides,
You do
Okay.
know that all of your faces have been plastered through the city, although you have officially been executed. But when it goes to the point of, do people know who you are? Yes, but you're dead. But it was very public that you were being hunted and that you were executed. So you are all very recognizable in your base forms.
Base forms. Dragon Ball Z, here we come.
if we can get close to her and she succumbs to my song, then I could then we could potentially extract information. But if she is an enemy of the Warstrider, then we might be able to extract information without that.
Indeed, she might simply want revenge.
Exactly. This is as the Smith says, this is a society of backstabbing. It would not surprise me if she was willing to divulge information to those who seem like they were working on, if it's potentially capable of dethroning the Warstrider, as it were.
Could we ask for directions to the Shining Blade?
Yeah, you get them. Tick, 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 tick. That was it being printed out.
Of a dial-up connection.
Yeah.
I thought we were just sitting in the same room opposite each other, like doing it in Morse, like.
But we can go and visit it after a little breakery brew.
Wah, wah. That's the break train. All aboard.
Tickets, please.
Oh no, Dean's not bought a ticket. Naughty boy.